We'll be starting in a few minutes to let the other people get online. Okay, we'll give it here a few more minutes. I'm going to do a sound check here. So if you are logged into our chat, please log in here where it says today's meet docs. Sorry, let me change that. It should be docs. 9, let me put the link up there. But you have the current link in your email. So please let me know if you can hear me while I change this real quick. There we go. So please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, Katrina. Cannot hear me. Let me turn my. What about now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Now you've gone ahead and logged in here. You can also, if you can't hear me, log into the presentation too. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me yet. We're still waiting. I've still got a couple other people signed up, so wait a couple more minutes and make sure you can hear me, Katrina. What about you, Leslie? Can you hear me? I gotta fix one other thing on the front page. Give me a second here. All right. Leslie or Katrina, can you hear me? Hello? You guys hearing me? Okay. Are you hearing me talk now? My mic is working because it is working for the voice thing, which I'll talk about later. All right. I have been talking. Let me check my settings here. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. Good, good. Okay, I had to switch the mic up. I'm sorry. It had gotten switched around. All right, great, great. What about you, Leslie? Are you here? Can you hear me? Okay. Let's give it another minute here and make sure everybody's joining us. It's going to join us. Feel free to, I've got you and Leslie in the chat session, and no problem. That was on me. And but you also can download the presentation from here. It's on the front page. It's also on the email I sent you. And so if you want to follow along, you can follow along in the PowerPoint, Google Docs, Google Slides, sorry. So we'll give about one more minute here. Make sure everybody's here. Check my email, make sure nobody's emailed in with a problem. No, we're good, we're good. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. The others can catch up. All right, so my name is Jason Whited. I'm an instructional technology consultant at the College of Education at East Carolina University, and we're here to talk about Intro to Google Docs. So what are Google Docs? Google Docs is a web-based word processing application. It's part of the Google Drive Office suite. It lends itself to multiple authors working in real time on one document. That's the kind of textbook definition of it. But basically, it is Google's answer to Microsoft Office. They have created a whole suite, just like the Office suite, of products, including Docs, Slides, which is their version, PowerPoint, Sheets, which is their version of Excel, plus drawings and maps and other things that have enabled you to create different items you can use in your classrooms. So why would you want to use Google Docs? I mean, the first and foremost part is it's free. I mean, and it's very easy. They've made the thing so it's very easy to transition from Microsoft Word to Google Docs. There's no learning curve or anything like that. We'll get in and look at the editor and stuff like this. It looks almost exactly the same. Okay, hold on here. I've got a question. Okay, just send out the link again. But why would you want to use Google Docs? Like I said, first of all and foremost, it's free. Google has made a concentrated effort to get into the K through 12 world, and it's really paying off. Now, one of the things is that it's easy for them to do. People say, well, why would Google want to do it? First and foremost, they make a lot of money off their advertising. They actually make more money than ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox combined on their advertising from their web. So they have this money to implement into to put into education. It also allows them to start creating a whole generation of people that are used to using Google. In the K through 12 world, it's free. Kids are getting their Gmail addresses earlier on. They use them all through school, and it naturally transitions to when they get to the real world. So that's it. That's a big part of why they're doing it. But when you look at it too, it's not just a simple Word doc or whatever like this. They're adding bells and whistles, and they really make it worthwhile to have. And it doesn't mean it's a standalone, because if you look at it now, if you look at Google Docs and this little image here, where I'm comparing Microsoft Word, Pages, and Google Docs. Now, Pages, if you're an Apple user, is their version of Word, and Pages can open up Microsoft Word. So can Google Docs. Now, Google Docs cannot open up Pages, but you can actually store pages in the Google Drive. You just can't open them. Whereas a Microsoft Word, you can actually store in the Drive and actually open it. Now, they have a limited editor for Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, so you can do basic functions here, and I'll demonstrate that here in a minute. But if you look down through here, the same thing with presentations and PowerPoint. A presentation can open up a PowerPoint. The Google Slides can. Same thing with Google Sheets can open up Excel. Now, Excel, Word, or PowerPoint can't open those documents, but so one thing about Microsoft is it's kind of versatile in that those things can open it up. So I just want to show you some shortcuts here. We go to my Gmail real quick, because I want to show you that if you ever log into your Gmail, you have the shortcut option here, and you just go up there and click there, and you see it'll take you to Gmail and everything. And go to your Docs, Slides, Drive here, and same thing from your Google Drive. You can see you go here and click on it. And if you want to create a new document, you go there, your Slides, Sheets. You also have, and they both have the more option to go Google Hangouts, Shopping, Translate, all that kind of stuff they have there. But it's nice to see that's consistent between the two areas that most people go to. They're either going to the Gmail or they're going to their Drive. Now, I'm following along with the questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I know I'm from the north and I talk fast, so you can tell me to slow down. So over here to Google Docs. So let's go ahead and create. Now, I showed you one option for creating over here. We're going to go to, you have to create anything, not any time, but a good place to start is your Google Drive. Every time I log in, I have my Gmail open and I have my Google Drive open. It's just an easy way to go back and forth and everything. So I can, with your Google Drive, I can store everything. You can see all the stuff I have, the different folders and everything I store. It's easy to upload content to there. And again, like I said, it's easy to use Google Drive. Now, to Google Docs. Now, I use Google Docs almost exclusively now. I made the transition about a year and a half ago when I started teaching these workshops, just first of all to get used to it, but then the ease in which it has of creating and then keeping up on it. So I can do something on my iPad, and then I can go ahead and edit it on my computer. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's easy to start. You can click here for new, and you click Google Docs. And there it is. Close that out, we don't need it for now. And I can just do retitle by simply going up here and just typing in. And now I have a document created. You can see it's saving it right there. All changes saved in the drive. So see, every change you make is automatically saved in the drive. Last editing was a few seconds ago. So basically it means anytime you type anything, it automatically saves. We've all had a Microsoft Word document and it has crashed on you and you've lost like an hour of typing. And that's the nice thing about this being cloud-based is it automatically updates. So it saves it there. But it's not, the drive that way is not the only way in the drive. Again, you can go up here and if you click on your Google Docs. Now I like if you use the waffle because it does give you the option of templates. So these are some of the basic ones that Google supplies you. Now I'll take you in a little bit here to show the rest of the templates that other teachers and other professionals have created and shared with people. These are just kind of the basics, you know, for a resume, letter, a report. But it's also nice to see all the other documents that you've been using lately. And it also, which is nice, it shows you if you have, it's not just Word Google Docs, it's also Microsoft Word DocX. So it'll show that. So it's nice that way too. And you also can get to it very simply by going up here and going Google Docs. So you don't have to even open your drive. You have to be logged into it. It would ask you to log into if you're not. But it'll show you the same look as you get when you go from the waffle. And again, when you're up here, like in Google Docs, you have the waffle. Same thing if you typed in Google Slides, Google Sheets, you can have the option for the waffle. So any kind of front page to what you're doing, you're always going to have the waffle there. Let's go back over to our document. And it's just easy, real simple typing. Nothing big to it. It's just a simple word processor. You have your menu bar, your toolbar. So I'm going to go back over here and look at it. There's your menu bar and your toolbar. So if you want to change your font type, your size, bold it, italicize it, underline it, change the size of it, insert stuff, view it. We'll talk about add-ons here in a little bit, but it's really intuitive because looks a lot like Microsoft Office. So now I did talk about Microsoft Word. And now one of the things that I like about it is that you can open it up. Well, let's go to my Google Drive and let's go here. And I'm going to do a search for text documents. And I'm going to try to find one. Microsoft document that I haven't converted over yet. Okay. Well, so here's two right here. And I have my resume. So let's go ahead and open my resume. And there you see my resume. It's a Microsoft doc there. You can do basic editing here, edit, format, kind of, you change your font, mess around with that kind of stuff. It's easy. But now the advantage of converting something over to a Google Doc is two things. First of all, sharing, and second of all, is taking up space in your drive. When I go back over here, you can see that I have 15 gigs of drive space available to me. But when you look at this resume, it takes up 30 kilobytes. But if you look up right above here at the iPad's draft, because it is a Google Doc, it does not take up any space. See, EdCamp Flyer and all that kind of stuff, they don't take up any space. But if you look at anything that is non-Google, it takes up space. If I go back to my drive, and I'm going to a nice example is to say at like PDFs. I can store all these PDFs I want to, but they take up space. So it's really nice, especially if you're using Microsoft Office and stuff like this, you can take your document up there, convert it over to a Google Doc, and then take it and load it back to your computer. So you always have the original saved on your computer, but then you have your Google Doc up there that you can collaborate with others, share, and it doesn't take up any space. Now, I know a lot of the K-12 people have unlimited storage, But for the people outside of there, you don't. Or if your personal account, you don't. But it's really nice, and I like that aspect of it, that it doesn't take up, they don't hold it any space. So I'm gonna go here to File. I'm gonna save as a Google Doc. You see it's doing a conversion. And there it is. Now it's converted over to a Google document. So when I go back to my drives, I'm going to click on Recent. There it is. Jason White doc. Now then there's the resume that's converted there. That simple. And now I have the ability to go over here and I have the ability to share it and everything like that with people. So I can still edit it and do some stuff with it. And it's real simple and easy to do. But again, now if I really was hurt for space, I can then just take my resume and drop it back down to my main computer and not have my cloud storage here. So again, one of the nice things about this is it's a lot like Google, like Microsoft Office. So you can have the option of just spruce it up and insert stuff. And you have all these options here. You can insert an image. So I can go here and I can, choose an image to upload. So I can grab one from, I have the option on my computer. I can actually grab one from Google Drive too. So if I have one on there I want to use, it's a movie, I'll use that. And then it's going to insert that image in there. Take a long time, I'll go ahead and cancel it. You want to insert an image, your albums, Google Drive, search. You can search for an image too. If I want to search for one, it says pizza. Let me search for that one. And now it's inserted an image of pizza. So it's really nice, and the different ways you can insert images in there. You can do it from your drive, you can do it from your computer, you can do it from the internet. Now, let's go back here, make sure that we talk about the other thing that you can do here, is insert footnotes, comments, page numbers. I like the aspect that you have a cover page and then it'll just tell it to go back there, your headers. So a drawing and a table. Now I stress table because one of the disadvantages to Google Docs is you can't set it up in columns like you can Microsoft Word. You can't tell me what 3 columns, type here, then type there, type there. But what people have done is you can go ahead and create a table and say I want to create a table to like this, and I have 2 tables, so then I've split, I could put 3 in there, and then you can take your table and you can hide that the outside changes the same color as the background, so it's invisible. So you can still set up those quote unquote cells to have it, but it's one of the disadvantages. You just have to figure the workarounds. But again, it's a free editor that has most of the bells and whistles that Google Doc, that Microsoft Word does. You can drop an image, and like I was talking about, if you want to set up a newsletter or something like that, and you should look at templates. In fact, let's just go do it. Let's go look at templates really quick. So if I want to go up here, I can just type in Google Templates, click on it. And this is really nice because these are all the different templates that you can use that like I said, you can search and say, I want to use, first of all, just document templates. So it'll limit it. And you can say, I want to do by holiday, legal, and you can look through these different terms, student, teacher. So we click there. So here's a student report, class notes, essay grading, rubric, syllabus, simple, syllabus basic. What these are, people have created and then they've shared it with you. So there's no copyright or anything like you have to worry about it. But a lot of teachers are out there saying, I created this really neat, maybe a check-in form or something like that, and I want to share it with people. So you can go here and up there and you can submit a template, and once it gets approved, anybody can use it. A lot of creative people out there have done it. So you look, see, like by Dan Rott here has done this niche versus habit worksheet, a remix manifesto, and you can see all the different people that have created them. So Google Docs, these are basic ones that Google's created, but if you look down through here, you can see the other ones. And again, the one thing I can say is if you start using Google Docs, you have to play around with it. You have to use it. So I would recommend going to playing with it and look at all the templates and stuff. You might find something that you really like out there. Close some of this down. So let's talk about sharing. Now, the other biggest strength, besides being free, is the collaborative / sharing aspect of Google Docs, which this means is you create a doc, a presentation, a spreadsheet, and you are drawing, and you have the ability to share it with your colleagues, students. I know that a lot of faculty I work with have started using this for book chapters, articles, presentations, because they can put it out there and edit it and look at it. And it kind of goes back to, when I was doing my undergrad and I was taking some business classes, we had a lot of group work, and there's always some sucker that would just have to get we'd hand them all our flash drives and they'd have to put the whole paper together. Well, everybody can put in their parts and edit it and stuff like this. And I'll show you how to do that. So, the sharing is really easy. So I'm gonna go over here to my Google Doc, and you have different options, but you click up here to share, and then you can type in somebody's email. So I'm going to type in share it to the College of Education. This is my private account here, but I'm going to share it to the College of Education. So they'll get an email saying they're in there. But you also, if you share it, you can say get a shareable link, and you give options if they can view it or edit. And this is where you would send it out to your students for them to look at it. And when they're done and they're looking at it, you can see they'll come up with the cute little names of anonymous unicorn, anonymous badger, bear, elephant. They have those when you see people are within a document. Because if you look back at my presentation, you can actually see that the College of Education is already in there. So let me pull over here to the College of Education's email, and they should have a So here you can see testing sharing. Let me do that again when I have it up so you can see it from that point. Now you can see that the College of Education just typed those two things. It's really nice. And like I said, you can see they're in the document up here. Now, one of the other nice things about this is that you have the ability to chat with them by clicking on there and saying, now we'll send it over there, and they can reply back. So as you can see, it now goes back and forth with here. So you can actually chat within the document with the people that are in there editing it. So it's a nice way if you're trying to figure something out and how it can work. So if you got any questions, feel free to ask at the today's meet. Now, one of the other things that is nice is the ability to comment. I know that a lot of in the K-12 world, specifically the secondary, the high schools and stuff, the middle schools, that they're using the commenting section ability as to be able to comment on papers that students are writing. So when back in the old day when you would write a paper up and you'd hand it to the teacher and they'd mark comment all over with the red pen. Well, now they can have the paper shared with a link to them. They can get in, they can edit it, make a comment, stuff like this, and kind of keep the student on the right path before they get too far off. So, they might assign, to have 25 papers due in like one night, just look at 5, the next night, look at another 5, and through the week, kind of keep abreast of all the papers and say, okay, John, you're a little too far off, or what do you mean by this? That way it gets a really good paper by the end of it, but it allows the teacher to kind of, I know it's a little big brother, look into it, but they can comment on it. I can show you how that'll work here. So I'm gonna go here, and then I can then add a comment. Make sure I don't borrow my. So I'm going to add a comment here. So now you see the comment that they've added. Looks good. Talking about the pizza. Now you can resolve it. If it was a problem saying, hey, you misspelled something or whatever, you can click resolve and it will go away. But otherwise, you can leave the comments there. And again, the whole time, if you watch up here while I'm typing, it is saving. All changes are saved to drive. So again, like I mentioned earlier, it automatically backs everything up and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about saving it. Now we just were talking about the collaborate. I showed you collaboration of it, you know. So there's Anonymous Panda and you get those. But if they've actually got a Gmail account, once they sign in, it will show up their avatar, image, or whatever they have to represent themselves. So revisions. Now this is nice in the aspect, as you can see, you know, especially if you're editing together, you see who's edited what. Maybe if the, you know, if somebody tears it up and edited it too far and you don't like what they've done, you can go back a revision. So I can go through here and I can, all the drives here, and I can see, okay, here at 9:38, I did that. Here's what somebody did. This is what the person did there. But let me bring up a different document so you can see kind of what some editing would look like. So here's the document that my coworker Holly has shared with all of us. And when I go to the edits, you can see Dan Zuberbeer, the librarian, he made these edits. And you can see what kind of all the different edits he made. So you can go back and see what he's changed, highlighted, and stuff like this. So it's really nice in that you can go back and say, I want to, you know, go and revisit back to this, you know, restore to this revision, see what's done there and everything like that. So, and as you see, there's Dan's icon versus Holly's image. So you can see this. So again, you can restore back. It makes it really nice for you to see who's done what on edit on your document. Now, one of the nice things I've liked that they've come about with is the voice to text. And this is pretty cool. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to go back, get out of here, typing. Now I can go to my tools up here and click on voice typing. Now, when I click to speak here, now you'll see that it will type while I'm speaking. And I'll talk about pizza. Typing while I speak, talking about pizza. Okay. It actually was working earlier. Sorry, check microphone. Okay, it normally does work, and I actually had it work earlier, but with technology, we know how it is. But it is a really neat tool that you can do it. So you can do voice typing there. Add-ons. The other nice thing that Google has done is it's allowed third-party vendors to integrate with Google Documents, Sheets, and Slides, and stuff like this. So basically, when it's Microsoft Word, you only can use what Microsoft Word gives you. But Google has said, you know what? There's a lot of smart people out there. We're going to open it up, and that they can, you know, whether it be a person, a company, they can, you know, invent stuff, and we allow it. We'll vet it, and we'll allow it to go be added to our system. So we go up here to Tools, not Tools, sorry. Oh, not Google Docs. Up here to add-ons. So you can see here's a bunch of them that I have right there. You know, MindMeister, Link Chooser is a nice one that allow you to select a file, folder file within your Google Docs. So if you want to have something in there, you can select it, and I'll show you that here in a minute. We all know, you know, Pro Writing Aid, speech recognition. Before they came up with their talk to text, this was there. So they're easy to get. You just click on Get, and you see a whole chart, and you can search through the chart and limit them. You can say I want education. You see some different ones. The math one's really popular. The bib one actually costs, but you can look at it and play with it. You know, there's a bunch of them. Again, just get them and look at them and play with it. Now, one of that. So again, tag cloud generators one. So basically you have a bunch of text and you want to see if the students are being repetitive. You want to create a nice little word cloud from your document. It'll create it. You also have Link Chooser, which I talked back about before, which once you do you click on your slide, and you can connect within your Google Docs. It's a nice way to connect stuff all together. Research. This is probably one of the neatest things that they've come about with. So let's go with our favorite topic of tonight, pizza, because that is everybody's favorite. I can go ahead and highlight it, right click. And I've got the option of research or define. So let's go with define pizza first. And over here on the right, you're going to see the definition of pizza. Now, what else is very nice is by right-clicking it, I can research pizza. And it gives me the option of coming through and looking at all this. Now, you see what's on top here, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's. Well, they're paying to have their ads up there. That's where Google gets the money to do all this stuff. But what I like about it too is I can say, you know what, I really like this image of the pizza. I can grab it, and I've dropped it right in that table right there. And the other nice thing about it is it'll cite where it got the pizza. So you look back down here, Cookie Diary Net, so there, Cook Diary Net. So now you know that that's where the image came from. Now, when you go down through here, let's go look at Pizza Wikipedia. Now you can highlight this again. Go over here, insert link. Now you see your pizza. It'll link to, if I highlight over it, there it is, the Wikipedia article. So I can change, remove it. And the other nice thing about it too is it'll cite it. So then number 2 is Pizza Wikipedia. So yeah, it might not be the format you're looking for, but it's a great tool to have when you're kind of writing your paper. You might be pulling references from doing a Google search and stuff. And so it's a great way to find the resources and everything. And kind of just document what you're getting to. Now, once you've created your Google Doc, you might want to share it with other people. And you want to look at the format you want to share it in. So file, you might be working with somebody that is not comfortable with Google Docs. You just want to send them an email. You can send them like the document. You can do it as a PDF so nobody can change anything like that. Sorry, I'm having a problem here. But it's really nice that you have those different options to download it and you give to people that might not be as comfortable as you are with Google Docs. Another thing they've done, OCR. Now, we've all maybe seen a PDF, and now a lot of PDFs, if you really want to copy text out of it, they're that easy, but you might run into an older one, an obscure one, maybe one that somebody's taken a picture of some text and stuff like this, and OCR will pull the text out of it. So I'll go ahead here, and let me go back to my thing here. Let me pull up PDFs. Let Let's just do this one here. So let's look at this PDF here. It's just a bunch of, let's do that one. There is the nice newsletter for the Latham Clinical School Network. But what I can do now is right click, open with Google Docs. And there it's going through the process now of converting it. So now you see that it's converted these over to a doc. So you could pull the text out where you couldn't before. So it's a nice little tool to have. And but one of the other things too, again, is working offline. When you're over in your Google Drive, you want to make sure that you go over to your settings here and make sure this box is checked so that you can work on your Google Docs at any time. And you can when you go to your Google Drive, you get the option of downloading it to your computer, and I highly recommend you do that because that gives you some options that it'll be on your computer, but it'll still upload everything to the internet when you have it, when you go to the internet. But once you're offline, you can then work on a document, work on a spreadsheet or whatever, and as soon as it gets to the internet, it'll upload, it'll update. I was working when I was at Craven Community College a couple years back. I was working with a training officer in the fire department in Greenville, and he would have to go to Raleigh once a week, once every other week. I'm not sure, I don't remember correctly. But and he would another fireman would drive him. I mean, he converted everything over to Google Docs so that he could do all his paperwork while I was driving. As soon as he had internet, it would automatically update. And then when he got back, he'd drive back, he'd update everything like that. So it was a nice cycle that he could do it. So he made great use of his time driving. And the other thing too is if you've got an iPad, you can download the app, do the same thing. If you're on an airplane, like I said, driving, stuff like this, and you have your computer up or your iPad, you can do all the work. And as soon as you hit internet, it'll upload it. It'll update it. So access from anywhere. Like I said, you can access this from a laptop like I'm doing now, or a desktop like I do at work. So basically when I do a document now, because it automatically changes, it saves all the changes are saved. I can, when I open the device, when I open the document on a different device, I see all the current version of it. So I do work with, I do a lot with my iPad. So if I'm in a meeting, I'll create a new document for them and title it for that meeting and stuff like this. Then when I come back to my desk a little bit later, I can pull what I think is relevant information out of that meeting and kind of keep a record of it. But it can go from, doesn't matter what type of device, if it's, if I'm using an iPad, if I'm using an Android, it doesn't matter. So I can use an Android for one thing and then come back and use Apple product or for the next. So it's very versatile in that aspect because it's cloud-based. So you don't have to worry about different versions. Do you have Microsoft Word this version versus Microsoft Word this version? Well, I have an older version, so I can't open a new document. You have to convert it back to the older version so somebody that doesn't have the new version can update it. Now it's all the same version. It's all cloud-based. You don't have to worry about it. That's what is the nice thing about accessing anywhere. So 10 ways, and this slide is in all my presentations because it's an overarching view of what Google is doing for you. We show the writing. I mean, it's a great way to improve a student's writing if a teacher can be on top of it and show them and catch their mistakes by using a comment factor. We talked about the sharing, how you can share it with your colleagues and stuff like this. The presenting. I do a workshop on Google Slides, the presentation software. I'll be doing that in the next couple weeks. So it's a great one to see that it had that option. Make images. Google Drawings, perfect for if you want to create infographics and stuff like that. Organizing, when you go back to your Google Drive, you have the ability to organize everything into folders. And from the folders, you can have your certain documents in there. You can color code them and everything. So it allows you to be a little more organized. Maps. Google Maps are really taking off. People are using them for history and other things. And you can now take them and kind of adapt them for your courses. Google Forms is great for surveys. You actually have one here, the Google Docs Professional Development Survey. That is a link in the email I sent you. It's also a link on the front page. You'll need to fill this out for your CEUs. I want to talk about that one before I close. but it's a great, and it's easy. It's real easy to use, very intuitive. Just drop the question, drop the question. We've all tried to use SurveyMonkey, Qualtrics, and it's like, okay, how do I do this? This is really easy. I talked about the connections. I mean, you can connect not only while you're working within a document using the chat function, you can connect using what we're doing here on air or Google Hangouts. And then the search. I mean, I showed you the search and how easy it is and how it's incorporated within Google Drive, Google Docs, and it's really nice and how you do search and cite it and everything. So before I go on to any questions, I just wanted to reiterate that you have to do the Google survey at the end. I talked about there, but make sure you fill out the survey that's on the front page of this. It's also an email I sent you. That way you can, when you get 10 of our sessions, you can tell us whether it be a few of mine, a few of Holly's, a few of Dan's, but once you got 10 overall, let us know and we can give you a CEU for technology education. We cannot give you a CEU for literacy or anything like that. This is only specifically for technology. One of the other things I want to talk about too is over here to my drive because I want to bring up Ed Camp Flyer. I converted that over. But on April 23rd, we are doing an Ed Camp at ECU. It's free for all P3 educators, plus there'll be faculty are invited to from the campus. So you might be in a session with some faculty from ECU and different teachers from around the Eastern North Carolina. Their lunch is served, and it's free. And at the end of the day, if you attend all the sessions along with the lunch session, so there'll be 6 total, you'll earn a half a CEU for the day. So you come to that and come to 5 of our sessions and you get your CEU for the year. Again, if you have any questions, you can shoot me a thing on the Google chat, on the today's Meet chat, sorry. I hope that this was helpful to you. You can also get a hold of me at my email. There's the flyer link, my email. And make sure you do the form that's in the email I sent you, link. And then, but fill that out and I'll check that out. But like I said, once I have that, you tell me what sessions you've attended and everything, we can give you the CEU. If you got any questions, follow-up questions, feel free to contact me at whiteandj@ecu.edu. I'll hang out here for a few more minutes in case you do have any questions. If not, then you have a good evening now. All right, if there's no questions, then I'm going to go ahead and log off here. You have a good evening. If you have any questions, again, you can email me at white@j@ecu.edu. And you can look again at our other offerings, and hopefully you'll find some stuff that Holly does some great stuff for distance education and teaching online. Dan's doing some great stuff with technology, and the learning consultant, your technology consultant in the library. So have a good night.